This message is just for you. You are good enough. This is the episode for you. If you've lost motivation in the pursuit of your big goal, and productivity hacks really aren't working to help you get it back, it might be that you're trying to solve the wrong problem. To help you figure it out, I've got a question for you today. Did you lose your motivation? Or is it actually that you just can't see your end goal right now? Have you lost focus on what you're doing it all for? Because it might be that the problem isn't your discipline, isn't your habits and your routines, but that actually the bigger picture is fading away. And the reason that I ask is that when we're learning something or we're chasing something big, especially when we don't have an immediate deadline or purpose to constrain us, it can be really easy to lose sight of the actual goal and just see this never-ending stretch of deadlines and expectations and stumbling blocks. We can reduce our whole journey into to-do lists. And when you do lose that clarity on exactly what you're trying to do and why, it has some pretty predictable knock-on effects. Number one, it's so much easier to procrastinate. Because after all, if all the good things, all the results are miles off, or it might even never happen, what's the hurry? Why bother today? And number two, it's easier to make excuses. And when you do make excuses, they feel more real. Because when that end goal is flimsy, literally anything and everything can be used to knock it down. And all the evidence that we can look around and we can find it. We can always find stories of why it didn't work for someone or why we're not built to do X, Y, and Z. They feel all the more like a prophecy. Number three, it's easier to get lost in the fog, in the mist, and overthink whether any of your plans will work out. Because as we all know, it's so much easier to come up with reasons why something could fail than reasons why it could succeed. But that doesn't make the reasons that it could succeed any less true or valid. Both are based in reality, so don't let the negative ones push it out. And number four, it gets harder to push through the discomfort. Because again, what's the point? It's easier to tolerate sacrifices, long days, being bored, being frustrated when you know that there's a deadline, it's not too far off, or that something will be done soon. But when you're chasing something big, you don't have that. And it really is hard to keep going when it feels like your goal is so far away that nothing that you'll do today will make the slightest bit of difference. And when that's where we are, I think a lot of us, we see that our productivity is low and we assume that what we need is help getting through the to-do lists and the deadlines and the expectations and the stumbling blocks. But what we actually need, what will genuinely bring relief from that situation, is to expand our journey back out. We need reminding of why we're putting all that effort in the first place. So if your motivation is waning, maybe the solution isn't another productivity hack today. Maybe it's actually just doing some quick work to strengthen that vision. And that might look like taking that image of your end goal and fortifying it. We've talked about this before in an episode called What's the Dream, where I invited you to bring all your senses in, to visualize you at the peak of your mountain, achieving that moment where you achieve that end goal, to make it feel as real as possible and almost simulate that success that you're working towards. So if that's language related, Remember, your end goal is never just a vague, I want to be fluent. It's always something more specific. It's you talking to a whole load of close friends at a Spanish bar in Spanish about the things that you care about. Because with your friends, you've got those elements of like-minded people, topics that you wish you were able to discuss in detail because they matter to you now in your native language life. It might be you conducting business negotiations in this high-flying job that you know that you want in this country. It might be you studying at a university in that country. And again, you've got those elements in there of you being able to talk and write in detail, articulating your thoughts on a topic that really matters to you. And then what we need to do from there is reconnect with things in your day-to-day life that will bring you nearer to that goal. And it will feel like there's a more immediate link there. So that might look like reconnecting with native language content or aspects of the country or culture that you feel are kind of fading away in this blur of textbook life. Sometimes languages become kind of theoretical in our heads, and because they are just masked by to-do lists and curricula, what we need more than anything is just to make them feel three-dimensional and real again. So it might also look like taking a few steps back from the language world altogether and getting that fire relit in a completely different way. Might be the success route. So go and follow someone's journey about getting their book published or breaking into the music scene, or whatever it is that can bring back that promise of joy and progress and satisfaction, but without awakening the self-comparison monkey that you might find if you look at people's language journeys. It might also be giving yourself some free rein in your language. If you're feeling hemmed in by your habits and your routines and you feel like they're breaking your connection with the end goal, give yourself, if you can, a morning or an afternoon or maybe just an hour to just be with your language, to explore topics that matter to you that maybe will never come up in a textbook, or to talk to people that you would never normally get to meet, to remind yourself that real people speak this language every single day and there's a whole world out there that's going on in that language. This is the stuff that's harder to see when you're so far in the academics of it. I know that the language journey is long, and whenever you're chasing a big goal, it's normal to get tired, to get discouraged, and to have peaks and troughs in your motivation. But just as we're coming into the end of this week, I just want to remind you that what you're doing is so much more than the next to-do list or the next small assignment. So don't let it be reduced to jobs and obligations. Keep reminding yourself why you started this in the first place. And if you like what I do, please support me. Click that subscribe button, leave a comment, or if you think of someone that you know who would really benefit from some language courage, share this channel with them because it will help me to spread motivation and encouragement to so many more people who need it. Have a wonderful day, and I will see you back here tomorrow.